Now, I've seen my fair share of bad stand-up moments and comedians losing it on stage, especially when dealing with hecklers. But this might have gone a little too far. Honestly, it was just a mess. So today, we're diving into the recent incident involving comedian Natalie Cuomo and a heckler at one of her shows. A moment that sparked a ton of debate online. Let's break down what happened and why everyone's talking about it. If you're not familiar with Natalie Cuomo, let's start with a quick introduction. Natalie is a 30-year-old comedian from New York, steadily carving out a name for herself in the stand-up comedy scene. She's known for her sharp wit, edgy humor, and ability to engage with her audience in a raw and unfiltered way. Over the years, she has built a strong following, not just through her live performances but also through her social media presence, particularly on TikTok, where she frequently shares clips from her shows and interacts with fans. Natalie isn't just a comedian, she's a personality. Her brand of humor can be described as unapologetic, confident, and sometimes provocative, which is exactly why this latest incident has people talking. Because when a comedian who prides herself on her interactions with the audience suddenly finds herself in a heated confrontation with a heckler, it raises questions about where the line should be drawn between playful banter and outright hostility. Now, let's talk about what happened. On February 3, 2025, during a sold-out show in Washington, D.C., things took a sharp turn when Natalie got into it with an audience member sitting front and center. At first, it was just another typical stand-up routine: jokes, crowd engagement, and the usual back and forth that makes live comedy so exciting. But then, Natalie made a joke about two men sitting together in the front row, playfully suggesting they were in a relationship.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what made you want to ask him?
Huh? Why are you making it sound like we're a couple?
It was one of those off-the-cuff remarks that comedians make all the time. Nothing too out of the ordinary. But this particular audience member didn't find it funny. Instead of brushing it off or responding with a laugh, the man fired back, saying,
It's not my playground material.
What? Oh, it's not that. Wow, it's not that. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
I could leave right now if
Well,
I
I
wanted.
can roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get nothing.
Whoa!
and then, just to up the ante, he added,
Take the mic if you want.
Now, if you've ever been to a stand-up show, you know that this is a bold move. Challenging the comedian on stage, interrupting the flow of the performance, that's a fast track to getting absolutely torched. But instead of roasting him with a clever comeback, Natalie took a different approach. Natalie was clearly caught off guard by the guy's attitude. It wasn't just a simple heckle, this was straight-up antagonistic. So instead of treating it like a joke, she went all in on shutting him down. She demanded that he look her in the eye and take responsibility for his behavior, making it clear that she wasn't about to let him hijack her show.
It is such a hard time in this world right now. There are so many people that came together to be supportive and amazing, and you're putting negative, no, look me in the eyes, you're putting negative energy out here. This is the last show of my, look me in the eyes. It's the last, look at me. It's the last show of my weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean to me, okay? So don't do that.
Her frustration was obvious, and the audience quickly got behind her, chanting her name in support. At this point, the heckler had officially worn out his welcome, and security escorted him out of the venue.
You can leave.
But just when you thought the drama was over, things took an even wilder turn. Now here's where things get really crazy. After the heckler was kicked out, Natalie noticed that his friend, who was still in the audience, was texting on his phone.
This guy's texting his friend. It's so cute. You can leave too. I won't be offended.
And instead of ignoring it, she did something that nobody expected. She grabbed the guy's phone. That's right. She took his phone, opened up his messages, and read them out loud for the entire audience to hear. And what did she find? Exactly what you'd expect. His friend was texting the heckler about what had just happened.
Well, what a fucking clown. I did warn you I would get kicked out. Man, she is sensitive, especially for a comedian.
And just to put a bow on the whole situation, Natalie decided to have the last laugh. She used the guy's phone to take a selfie, flipping off the camera, and sent it to the heckler. Now, as you can imagine, this moment blew up online. The clip of the incident racked up nearly 1 million views on TikTok, and the internet was deeply divided over what went down. On one side, you had people who were totally on Natalie's side, saying she had every right to defend herself and shut down the heckler. They saw it as an example of a comedian standing up for herself and refusing to let someone ruin her show. One supporter wrote, "Feminine rage is my jam. I'm obsessed." But on the other side, you had people who thought she took things way too far. They argued that hecklers are a part of comedy, and a good comedian should be able to handle it with humor instead of confrontation. One critic commented, "You're supposed to respond to hecklers with jokes, not power trips." And then there was the biggest debate of all. Was it okay for her to take the phone and read the private texts out loud? Because while roasting a heckler is one thing, invading someone's privacy is a whole different level. Alright, here's where I stand on this. Comedy is all about pushing boundaries, and dealing with hecklers is part of the game. Every comedian handles it differently. Some roll with it and turn it into a joke, while others shut it down fast. I totally get why Natalie was frustrated. This guy wasn't just heckling, he was challenging her authority on stage, trying to put her down in front of an entire crowd. That's annoying, and she had every right to call him out. But did she take it too far? Reading the texts and taking a selfie on someone else's phone? That's where it starts to feel less like comedy and more like a personal grudge. At the end of the day, comedy should be about entertainment, not power struggles. This whole incident raises a much bigger question about the relationship between comedians and their audiences. Comedy has always thrived on pushing limits, but where do we draw the line? Should comedians be expected to handle hecklers with grace, or do they have the right to shut them down aggressively? And on the flip side, do audience members have the right to disrupt a show and expect no consequences? There's no easy answer, but one thing's for sure. This situation is a perfect example of how quickly things can escalate when boundaries are crossed. At the end of the day, this is one of those viral moments that has split the internet, and I want to hear what you think. Did Natalie handle this the right way, or did she cross the line? Should comedians have to deal with hecklers with humor, or do they have the right to shut them down however they see fit? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the biggest trending topics. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.